but fall so easily.
Why? Yeah, pop that, rev that, yes! Bring it back! Wait! Time to sort this bottom bit out. So we got this here, more of the floor. Cut a little section off, because I'll show you. So this should finish off the rest of my floor on the passenger side towards the sill. So for now, clean this bit up. This piece here is for this, right? But if you notice, ever so slightly too high. Because look, that's, but as you can see, there's a gap, it doesn't fit. So I know I can hammer it. I've cut this line, I'm gonna hammer it down a bit, but I know it still won't fit. Instead of tilting this whole floor like that, what I've done is cut a piece out. I'm gonna use this piece here to ever so slightly bring the right side up, make it level, so the whole floor isn't disrupted. Let's see what we can do with this. So I've hammered it down a bit. Worked out quite well, to be fair. I've not put any dents or huge gashes in the metal. And then this is vaguely clamped in, rough clamp, and I'm happy. It comes down a slight bit, so even though that will get hammered flat, this side here is slightly higher than this side, only by a little bit. So bring it down to that level, and then from there it can be perfect all the way down to there. And I'm going to repair under this once this is off. Clamped in for a little mock, just a little mock up, making sure everything's nice and fits cool. So for now I've got a trim down here to make it fit nice. That's been trimmed a bit, sits a bit more flush. The inner sill needs a bit more of a see, there's still a hole there. That's from the grinder. So all I'm going to do, tighten a little square here, repair this, then I can start filling this in. Weld through primered, drilled the holes for the spot welds. I'm happy with how smooth these are together and how much it's come down. Not too much, so I don't need to bring it down much. Everything's going to plan. Rust through primer again, fresh coat, and then that's ready to weld. Fill in the gap. Oh, it's going down, boy. We got this piece clamped in. Got that all tacked in. Got a bit carried away, so I didn't record. Looks more presentable. Seam welded it down the side. Eventually I'm going to carry on all the way down to the end. I'm happy with that now. Now that's flat there. I can put this next panel in, and that can go flat all the way down. And that's that panel there. Seam welded all this. We got this piece clamped in. It comes out a bit there, but I'm going to hammer it. Once I do the corner, it's going to be hammered out. And then I can put the rest of this floor in, main. That's the front bit welded in. All welded in on the inner sill. Find out this little tiny bit here, some holes, because it's too thin, too bubbly on the rust, so I'm just going to fill that in. So now I've done it inside. As you can see, the little hole, just going to weld them up. I'll shorten it when I need to, but that's in. It's been weld through primered, and then I'm going to put the inner sill when it dries. I'm going to put the floor in. It is time. All clamped in. Happy with it. Going to tack it underneath the spot welds. Then we're going to do this corner here. Got that in nice and strong. Seam welded it down. Carried on seam welding it all the way down. Start belt sanding underneath. I'll show you what that looks like after being belt sanded, yo. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. See how this is slightly flatter. I'm going to do the same over here. So now I can actually move on to the inner sill, the rest of the inner sill back here. So I remember to keep what I cut out, so I know exactly. So that was all that was there for the inner sill, and that's where the inner arch connects to. So I've took some measurements. I'm going to try and repair all of this down to there. There's one panel. You start with some cardboard, and I'm going to get bending around. So here's my little template I've got so far. So this goes there, that round the back. So here's my little template. Bang. Just like that. And I've realised on the real panel I need to go 50mm extra that way. So look at extension when I go to the metal, so I'll just remind myself there. But that can be one panel. I'm probably going to clean that bit up so I don't have to go zigzagging on the wall, just make that one straight line. You put it on your metal, flatten it all out, scribe around it, cut out of it, and then create your fold lines. There we go. We've got a cardboard template, metal sheet. Gonna hammer it around, got this in the clamp, so that's bent. That's what we come out with at the end. Let's test this out. Yeah, boy. Here's what I've got so far. Got roughly within there. Adjusting prongs to the meet up, but that's looking very similar, very close to how it needs to be. So that's the rear jacking point. They go behind there like so. They'll sit like that. They'll sit together like that, and then the jacking point connects to the chassis rail. There, as you can see, the dots, and that connects to there like that. Yeah, boy, it's coming on now. Got it clamped in. I'm happy with how that looks. Gonna give that some tacks in now, man. Hey, that's the inner sill, pretty much complete. I got to weld the other side in the odd bit where it didn't penetrate all the way through. It's nice and strong. That's there for when that comes down. Should reach there all nice. So like I say, you get your template and you start doing your shapes, man. We've got this, that goes there, hammer that bit there, made a little line as you can see to hammer it back. Two little scribe lines. So there's my first bend line, and then there's another scribe deep in there. Let's try and bend this, man. So I've just been putting in the vase, pushing it, hammering it, getting it right, so it's kind of close now. Just gonna finish off the bend now at the end. But this side looks cool. Here's what we got so far. First bend. Simply just using the vise, hammering it, bending it, just using normal hand strength to pushing it, bending it, moulding it. Bit of hammer to make the corner a bit sharper. But then when I need to hammer these bits round here, use a towel so you don't leave no big hammer prints. So to make it go from here to touch this bit here, the length is about, say, 35mm. 35mm. Created this line all the way down. So that's my next bend line. Here is my finished product. So it almost looks like a homemade sill for it anyway. Shout me, I got them homemade sills and I'll get you some. All I did was use this clamp. How accurate, how decent you think that is, just clamping, bootlegging. I say I give that a fucking bootleg out of 10, mate. So let's go test it on the motors. Not quite there yet. I literally just got to trim it underneath here. So this little tassel bit is stopping the blockage. Bosh! So boom, that goes there. I'm gonna drill spot weld holes all the way down here. Look at that. Fitting and jitting right there, boy. So yeah, do that. Instead of hammering this, I'm just going to put a plate on top to connect them. Forget it. It'll have enough strength being welded the way it is all the way down there anyway. So that's done. Gonna clean it up, spray it, rust proof primer. Same with all this inside. And bosh. Oh shit. You see the progress right now, boy. You see the progress. That's the inner sill. Complete. Just got to trim it down. I've made it excess at the bottom, so I'd rather have too much than cut away than have too little and have to keep adding bits. So that's the complete passenger side inner sill repaired. The strengthening thing usually, see, I don't know if that's even correct. I don't know if that goes down like that, but I thought it needs to. For it to be strong and what I'm going to do with the car, it needs to be this type of strong. So regardless if you agree with this or not, you can suck my balls, yeah? And this bit here, usually people would hammer it in, but I thought instead of hammering it in and making this part, because obviously if this part goes in, it will make this part bend out as well. So I thought, forget that, I'm just going to put a plate it there, because that is already going to be strong. I'm going to seam weld it at the bottom, just because, and then I'm going to possibly try and weld it there, and then that is finished. And the next job from there is this. So it connects it all down to there. So this goes down, as you see, it connects there. So I'm going to cut that or bend it, create the lip that goes down. But the reason I'm not too sure yet is because I've got no inner arch. I do not have a clue how I'm going to repair that. Someone in the comments did say use a pair of outer arches. Luckily I do have them, as well as a quarter panel, so that might be the flex. Look at that, boy. Seam welded all the way down. Looks way better in person. And then boom, fill this gap in there. Yeah, boy. So that is in there, nice and strong. I'm gonna spray over it now, and I believe I can start cutting out the next side, the driver's side. So bang, it is official. We're moving on. We're moving on to this side. Look at that. It all over again. This side might be worse in its own way. This side begins, man. Look at the lacquer peel from all them years in the bush. Fresh coat of primer. Looking cool. Happy with that. Shut the door on her. Yeah, boy.
And then a jumper, because obviously you don't need to. Yeah, and a coat. Put some warm pajamas in case it's cold.
That is the one. It's come a long way, man. Hell of a long way. No hole. Other than that one. No hole. Splash guard all good. In the sill all the way down. Sweet as a nut. Strengthening at the back. I need to do the inner arch that connects to that section that I've just been ending the video with. Actually, matter of fact, let me show. I'll play all the before and afters in a sense, not all of them, but I'll show you all this side that I've done, how it looked when my first reaction to wood. Look at that. Way. Ain't that beautiful, man? Oh, that seemed very free. Look at that. Rot of the hour.